Every deceased virgin knows their greatest wish is to cease being a virgin. So when I received God's grace to be reborn once again and choose any guardian deity at will, I resolutely chose the protection of the god of harem, the god of all trades. Gavin looked at me uncomprehendingly. Is having sex your only concern? I looked at him, smiled slightly, and did not answer. In my last life, I remained a virgin until death. It was one of my biggest regrets. Now I can live again. I want to make up for this regret after nearly an hour in line. Finally, it was my turn to sign a contract with the god of harem. Brother, I am honored that you chose me as your guardian deity. You have made the right choice. The god of harem had a sincere smile on his face. Besides receiving my blessings, I have also decided to bestow upon you a divinity. From this moment, you are my brother. It was evident that the god of harem held me in high regard. I was moved to tears, hugged him, and affectionately called out, "You are my good elder brother in this life." Gavin watched this scene with some disdain. As the god of everything, he originally wanted to make a contract with me, but now he could only watch as the best candidate was taken away. Alright, let's get down to business and sign the contract. The god of harem gestured to summon the contract, but there was no response. When he gestured a second time, still no contract appeared. Can you give me a moment? I will contact customer service to inquire what happened. The god of harem said somewhat embarrassedly. I smiled and nodded. Such things often happened when I was alive. Hello? This is the god of harem. I've run out of contracts. Can you send me another one? A cold customer service voice answered on the other end. Sorry, Mr. God of harem, your follower count has reached its limit. No deity can violate this rule. You know this. After hanging up the phone, the god of harem sighed with some regret. He looked at me with disappointment. Sorry, my follower count has reached its limit. But don't worry, my brother. Even if you don't sign my contract, I will still give you my divinity. Hearing this, I felt somewhat sad. It was like queuing up to buy a limited edition toy, only to be told there's none left when it's your turn. But Gavin, the god of all trades, showed a different attitude. After all, being a deity, he knew that signing a contract would only grant regular divine blessings, but divinity would grant at least 10 times the privileges. The two were incomparable. Are you sure you want to give him your divinity? Gavin asked uncertainly. He's my brother. Why not? The god of harem replied firmly. Just then, a loli's voice sounded from behind. Hello, so you are here. This loli appeared seemingly harmless, but she was actually a 1,000-year-old witch. She looked at you pitifully. Hey, so you were here. Why didn't you become my follower? I really like you. Just a kiss from you, and I would have granted you many benefits. I turned to look at this cute girl, sighing inwardly. If Gavin hadn't told me when I arrived that this loli was actually a disguised 1,000-year-old witch, I might have really signed a contract with her. The goddess loli still looked at you pitifully. Come on, become my follower. I looked around in despair, praying for help from Gavin, the god of all trades. Gavin, please help me. Gavin had a mischievous smile. He knew his opportunity had come. Why should I help you? Lily is a good goddess. You two are a perfect match. Lily nodded in agreement, pleased. Yes, we were truly meant for each other, out of desperation. You said to Gavin grudgingly, Gavin, if you help me, I would agree to become your follower. Lily looked surprised to hear this. Most people who entered the city of gods, when she acted cute and clingy, usually agreed to sign a contract with her, but the person in front of her was behaving so abnormally. Did you hear that, Lily? Gods can't force others to sign contracts? Gavin's expression became serious. The goddess lowly deflated like a balloon, with her head drooping. Give me the contract. I will sign it. I gestured to Gavin, but he cleared his throat and said righteously, I haven't done anything, and I wouldn't force you to sign the contract. We should discuss this over a meal. I nodded. That sounded like a good idea. The goddess Loli and the god of harem, hearing about the meal, also followed along unconsciously. This restaurant was run by the god of chefs. At this time, there weren't many people. Most of the chosen ones had already selected their guardian deities and had entered the reincarnation of the new world. Every dish in the restaurant was so delicious it could melt your tongue. Soon, the four of us finished everything. After a satisfying meal, Gavin stared straight at me. Before you sign a contract with me, there are some things you must understand clearly. Then you could decide whether to choose me as your guardian deity. I was a bit surprised by Gavin's seriousness, but also nodded. Deciding to listen to Gavin's introduction, Gavin slightly smiled. The moment you signed a contract with me, you would have received my blessings. You would have had a buff when you increased your job level, gaining an additional 20% experience. I was somewhat puzzled. If I was reborn in a world without monsters, how would I gain experience points? Gavin smiled knowingly. You don't necessarily need to kill monsters to gain experience. Every world has its own laws. Do you understand what I mean? Gavin continued. Another benefit is Once you unlock 10 professions, you can merge them all together into a personal profession that belongs only to you. A profession of immense power. I wasn't naive. If everyone could have such powerful abilities, Gavin wouldn't be so desperate to find followers. Gavin gave a bitter smile and decided to tell the truth. What happens when a deity has no one's belief? Do their 1,000-year bodies turn to quicksand? Does their steadfast divinity cease to exist? But the god of all trades, followed only by me, still decided to tell me the truth. My power can merge 10 professions into an immensely powerful new profession. But most people can only pursue 1 to 3 professions in their lifetime. Only long-lived species like elves have the chance to complete more than 10 professions. Are you still sure you want to be my follower? Gavin asked me, looking a bit worried. It's okay. I believe in you. Where should I sign then? I smiled at him. Gavin felt a weight lift from his heart. He waved his hand in the air. A contract appeared out of thin air. He tried hard not to let his hand tremble. In fact, apart from the young man in front of him, he had only one other follower left. A god without followers would cease to exist. As the contract was signed, I felt a warm current flow into my body. The lowly pouted nearby. I'm so jealous. You should have let me be your guardian deity. Gavin ignored Lily, looking at me happily. I have something for you too. After speaking, he took out a square chip from his bosom. The other 2 deities instantly showed a look of surprise, but the expression quickly disappeared. What is this? I asked Gavin after receiving the chip. This is the last gift I give you. I believe it will be of use in your next life. Thank you. I could tell Gavin had given a very precious gift. Lily smiled at me. My turn. This is my gift to you. She held a lollipop in her hand. Then the silent god of harem also handed over a stick. This is for you too. I glanced at Gavin. He silently nodded. Only then did I confidently accept their gifts into my soul. The land of reincarnation connects countless worlds through legendary gates. I think you should go through that golden gate, suggested the god of harem. The golden gate is indeed good, but I don't want him to live like a pig. Lily looked at the god of harem with some displeasure. Can you tell me about the portal? I asked the 3 deities. Almost at the same time, the 3 deities firmly refused. Revealing information about the portal is strictly prohibited in the realm of gods. But I had gleaned some understanding from their earlier conversation. As I was contemplating which gate to choose, an old man in a white robe emerged from the portal. The elder seemed surprised to see the 3 deities. Are you all waiting for me here? I didn't bring any souvenirs back. Lily raised her little fist. We came to send him off, not to welcome you. The elder looked a bit disappointed, but his expression changed when he looked at me. A soul that can withstand so much divine power, interesting. Gavin and the god of harem quickly covered the elder's mouth. Old man, better not to speak. It's a secret. If other deities find out, there will definitely be turmoil. Gavin pleaded. This is my last follower. Don't make me hit you. All right, you little rascals. The elder's face showed a mischievous smile. But let me join in too. Seems interesting. And that young man seems tailor-made. After speaking, the elder greeted me with a brilliant smile. My name is David. Have you chosen your portal? I nodded firmly. I want to go through that silver gate. That world is a good choice. David nodded. Since we've met, it must be fate. Let me give you a souvenir before you leave. After saying this, the elder gave me the cane in his hand. But sir, this is your cane. Right. I looked at him, a bit confused. Don't worry. I have 10,000 of these canes at home. Off you go. I gratefully accepted the cane and bowed respectfully to the 4 deities. Thank you all for the gifts. In my next life, I will definitely work hard. Just as I was about to step into the silver portal, suddenly, a truck drove out of the portal I was about to enter. With a loud bang, the truck crashed into me, directly knocking me into the nearby red portal. The 4 deities stood in shock, and the truck came to a halt, transforming into a 10-meter tall robot. HMM, did I just hit someone? Truck, I'm going to dismantle you, Gavin roared in anger.